Good morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. John Davis with Laughlin Highlands Farm. Just wanted to show you that we finally finished up our Joel Salatin style shade wagon, where we followed the plans from his book and we created a mobile shade wagon that we can use to drag around to our pastures. So we had Grandpa's old running gear laying around. We decided we should put it to use instead of having it just sit out in the field and rust. And we came up with something that'll give the cows some shade, because in our pastures, as you can see, we have some shade on the edges, but we don't have much shade at all in the actual pastures. And cows need shade. I mean, it gets hot out here. We're in Ohio. We still hit in the 90s, 92, 93 degrees last week when it was super hot. And I mean, that gets hot. So our cows do pretty well because they're white cows, and we do have our South Pole bull, which does well. But still, I wouldn't want to be out in the sun at 93 degrees. So we want to take good care of our animals. You get better animal performance too if they have some shade to get under, so we had to get to work and build some shade wagons. Long-term plans, we're putting trees in our pastures, honey locust, hybrid willow, hybrid poplar, and we will be creating a silvopasture, but trees take a long time to grow. So the best time to grow a tree, or the best time to plant a tree, is yesterday, of course, and we just planted these earlier this year. So it's going to take probably 5-6 years before we get any meaningful shade out of it. But I will show you this shade wagon. I just put it in with the cows. They're just starting to figure it out. And you know, cows, they're nosy and they're curious. So we'll see what they think. And here we go. So this is the shade wagon. And as you can see, the cows don't as much appreciate the shade as they do appreciate something to rub on. So cows love to rub on stuff. I hope this thing is built stout enough. The plans from Joel Salatin are pretty legit. So I hope that we have something that's built to last. But everybody's looking pretty good. Our steer that we bought, he's got a bit of a dirty back end. We need to get a sample from him and see what's going on. But he was a bottle calf. We knew when we got him that there were probably going to be some immune deficiencies, and since he's going to freezer camp in the fall, obviously we're not going to breed him. And for those city folk out there, you can't breed a steer. I'll let you Google that and figure out why. But we can't breed him, so he's going to turn into steaks, ground beef, all that good stuff. But they seem to be liking this so far. We've got a few of these cows, and these are purebred Galloways, by the way, from Caraway Acres Farm in Hamilton, Ohio. Fantastic people, Skip and Jan. They're just wonderful. So they're down there in Hamilton. I know they go to the Oxford Farmers Market, make sure to buy their food, buy their beef. But these cows came from there. They're in great shape. They're pregnant. We've got a couple that are just starting to show. They get kind of all puffy on the rear end there, and their udders start to fill out, and that means they're getting ready to calve. So we should have calves here, I think, in the next couple days, I think. So this is the shade wagon. This is Grandpa's old hay wagon, and I followed Joel Salatin's plans to put it together. It was a project, oh my gosh. So with the old hay wagon, it was kind of rusting out in the field, had a bed on it that my dad and I put on, probably 25 years ago at this point, and it needed a new life. So the new life started with me taking those wheels off. I had to weld in a bunch of patches in the rims and fix a bunch of rust. Got them sandblasted, then we painted them, put new tires on. I had a local welder who's just a great guy. His name is Jeff. Here comes our South Pole bull. What's up, fella? We got him from up in Erie, Pennsylvania, from a fellow up there who's just a fantastic guy, and he's going to explore that crossbar there. My mom was wondering if they could step over the crossbar. I guess we'll find out, see if we have acrobatic cows. Anyway, we had our welder. He goes to our church. His name is Jeff. He welded up that frame there that the superstructure mounts on. That thing's welded all stout. And then I painted it with Pour 13 with a top coat of enamel. And golly, let me tell you, that Pour 13, that stuff's a real pain in the butt to put on, but I think it works. The enamel's not as tough as that Pour 13, POR-13, but the POR-13, it bonds directly to the metal, and you can paint over rust. That's what POR stands for. So I painted that with Pour 13, it's gray, and then top coated it with red because red just looks sharp. And there we go. And then built the rest of the superstructure per Joel's plans and put the 80% shade cloth on top. And according to Joel, he swears by these things. They like to have mobile shade so that they can move it around their pastures and put the shade where they need it, because they're like us. They don't have a lot of trees or shade cover in their pastures. And I differ from Joel in that I am going to add trees to our pastures. We don't plan on ever taking hay off this property again, but in the meantime, we got to figure this out. Total build time I had into this with painting and welding and everything. I mean, total build time is probably oh, I'd say I've got a solid 40 hours into it, so it was not a small project. And on top of that, there's definitely some costs too. You know, and the hay wagon was free, but I think it cost me about $100 to have those wheels sandblasted and all the labor. I had to buy a bunch of new bolts, a bunch of new take it easy, lady. Holy moly. Good thing I put a wheel chock on this thing. Good Lord. You know, everything is on a hill here. Oh, he's going over. There you go, Mom. They can step over. Well, there you have it, folks. We have acrobatic cows. Look at the ram over there itching on the wheel. And these two nitwits fighting over the shade, or fighting over the scratchy post. You know, why did I even paint this thing? The cows will probably rub it all off. We'll have red stripes on all of our cows from them rubbing on it. Oh my gosh, where was I? Oh, so hay wagon was free, but a bunch of labor in the wheels. All the bearings were in good shape, thank goodness. But, you know, still had to replace some grease zerks. There was a whole bunch of hardware I ordered off McMaster Car. I think probably about $200 in bolts and washers and captured nuts and all that good stuff. So I had to get that stuff off. Lumber cost me about $800. The shade cloth I think was $300, and with the steel and the labor for Jeff, I think that was all said and done about $1,200. So you can add that up. I mean, it's a fair amount of cost we put into this thing, but if you were going to buy a shade wagon, just something, you know, you could buy and get it delivered, that is rude to do on camera. I'm gonna move. Jeez, we have sensitive viewers here, fella, Mr. Red Bull. With to buy one of those things, I priced them out. They're like $8,000 to $10,000. So, you know, I know time's money, but sometimes, you know, cash flow is cash flow too. So, anyway, well, sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. Jeez, snowflake. So, anyway, time is money. I get it, but you know, we had this resource here too. We were just going to use it, and I think Grandpa would appreciate it. Grandpa loved the farm, and he loved animals, and he was always doing the right thing to try to worked with what he had and used what he had on hand to build it, and I think there's something to be said for that. So anyway, we're gonna pull this thing around. I could pull it with the ATV. The ATV definitely pulls it. My issue with that is that the ATV doesn't weigh that much, and anybody who pulls stuff, you know that, you know, pulling it's one thing, stopping it is the other thing. And I think the ATV with me on it weighs maybe 1,100 pounds, if that, maybe 1,200 pounds with me on it. That's not a lot of weight. I usually pull it, or I plan on pulling it anyways. Well, excuse you. I plan on pulling it anyways with our RTV parked over there. If only because that thing weighs a lot more, and I feel more confident with four-wheel disc brakes being able to stop this thing. I've had some near misses with the ATV, and you know, it reminds me you got to be safe on the farm. There are so many ways to hurt yourself on a farm, and a lot of stuff that we do out here, we're doing solo, or we're doing with minimal people. We're out in the middle of nowhere. Safety is never a proper trade-off for expediency. Always slow it down. You can always get more time to do something. If you break a leg or hurt yourself or whatever, they're just funny. Then you're going to have way more downtime than just slowing it down and waiting to do something. So please be safe on farms out there, guys. Especially you homesteaders and smaller farmers like us, where you don't have a bunch of people to help out with stuff. I think this is a hit so far. It's like Cow Vision, Cow TV. What do you ladies think, huh? What do you think? Those are our purebred Galloways. I've already said that, but I get distracted easily. I think they look good. We're going to breed our Galloways with our South Pole, and we're going to come up with a Galloway South Pole cross. We're going to do some experimenting here and see what comes out of it. So that is the flurred, as we call it. So there's some ram lambs hanging out over here. Of course, we got the cows and the bull and the steer, and then I've got some more ram lambs over in the other direction. We had a nice lamb crop this year. Should work out well. If you're in Northeast Ohio, we sell our lamb through Baker's Golden Dairy. They are a family-run dairy farm that delivers a wide variety of food, including Lachlan Highlands Farm lamb. So that's pretty cool. We also ship our meat too. If you've made it this far in the video, we ship our meat to all 50 states. So grass-fed beef, grass-fed lamb, grass-finished, no antibiotics, non-GMO, all that stuff. All right. This lady right here, Miss 21, she is getting ready to calf. And I don't know, you know, we have pretty friendly cows because we work with them so much, but she's a little skittish, which is good. But if you can see her rear end there. It's all kind of puffy under her tail. And her udders are starting to fill out. You can really see milk coming down in her udder. That's pretty cool. That corner hanging down up there. So all of our gates are 12 feet wide, and I may have made an error in having the gates be 12 feet wide. And this thing is so wide that it takes a bit of an effort to get it through the gate. And you gotta, I mean, it's 26 feet long. So you have to make sure to get it straight when you go through a gate, or else you'll catch, you know, stuff. And I took too tight of a turn, and I broke the 2x4 that's up there, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Better than breaking the RTV. I did not break the RTV. Well, what? Man, he's mouthy today. Sheesh. But I'll have to come back up with another 2x4 and fix that this afternoon. You know, it's always something. You can't do a project on the farm without breaking something. Hey, fellas. So, it's so funny. Overall, I liked building the shade structure. This is a bear. I mean, in the book, Joel does say it's a bit of a project, but you know, these big frames that are on the side, these big frames that go vertical, we had to lift those up with the front end loader on the tractor, set them in place, and then you're doing some aerial work. I mean, this is not a small project. Would I do it again? Yeah, we'll probably build another one. Maybe we'll build 3. I can tell you one thing, I'm not going to move these out of the pastures they're in. I'll put one in a pasture and it's going to live there until something happens to it. It's just it's a production to get these things built, but it's worth it. I like having the shade, and until we get more of a silvopasture going on, I think this will make a lot of sense for us. But anywho, that's where we're at. Oh, she's not happy with the bull. He just pushed her out of the way there. Well, sorry. I hope this thing stays in one spot. Everything's on a hill around here. I can just see this thing down in the creek bottom someplace after the cows are rubbing on it, and they'll be chasing after it. But that sure would be something. Oh boy. Always something on the farm, huh? It's always entertaining. Thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it here. You know, we're trying to build a 4th generation farm with a content creation business and a meat business and all of the stuff that goes on top of that. And we appreciate your eyeballs and your time. And remember too, LaughlinHighlandsFarm.com. We do sell meat. You can go there and support us and buy our awesome, fantastic product: lamb, beef, turkey, chicken, pork, and get it shipped to your doorstep. And we're like ButcherBox or something, but we're not a giant nameless corporation. We're like people. You know, my name's Sean. Hello, and we live here in Ohio. So order from us. It really supports us and helps us out. We're trying to rebuild the land that has been in my family for over 115 years. And it's pretty cool. So God bless you. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate your consideration. And please stay safe out there. It's a crazy world. And have a fantastic week. Thanks.